The air outside San Diego International Airport hummed with cars and rushing footsteps. But for Sergeant Daniel Brooks, the world felt strangely quiet. After 9 long months deployed overseas, he was finally back on U.S. soil. The salty Pacific air mixed with the ache of anticipation in his chest. He could already picture her, his little girl Emily, all freckles, ponytails, and the smile that had kept him going through sleepless nights and dusty days. In one hand, Daniel clutched a duffel bag heavy with medals, sand, and memories. In the other, a small pink backpack with unicorn patch, Zamili's favorite. It had been sitting on his cot for months, a constant reminder of who he was fighting for. His plan was simple: surprise Emily at her elementary school. But behind that simplicity was a storm of emotion. 9 months earlier, on a warm April morning, Daniel had hugged Emily goodbye at the base gate. "Daddy, you promise you'll be home for Christmas this time?" she'd asked, her small fingers wrapped tightly around his uniform sleeve. Daniel knelt, brushing a tear from her cheek. "I'll try, baby. But you know Daddy's job is to help people stay safe." She had nodded bravely, even though her lip quivered. "Then I'll be brave too." That single moment had replayed in his mind every single day since. During the long nights in the desert, when the radio went quiet and the stars seemed endless, he would take out her last drawing, a crayon stick figure of him, holding her hand with "Come home soon, Daddy" written in purple marker. The paper was wrinkled and faded, but it was his anchor. Back home, 8-year-old Emily Brooks marked every day on the calendar with a red heart. Her mother, Jessica, didn't have the heart to tell her that there was no set return date. Deployment timelines could shift like sand. But Emily believed in her dad's promise. She told everyone at school about him. "Daddy's a Marine. He helps people. He's going to be home soon." Her teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, would just smile softly. "We'll be waiting for him too, sweetheart." As Christmas passed, then New Year's, the hearts on the calendar ran out. But Emily didn't stop marking days. She just drew more hearts. Daniel's plane landed just after sunrise. His commanding officer had given him permission to go straight home after debriefing. "Go surprise that little girl of yours," the man had said, clapping his shoulder. Daniel's hands trembled slightly as he adjusted his uniform. He'd faced firefights and long, lonely nights, but nothing made his heart race like this. He picked up his phone and texted Jessica just 2 words: "I'm here." Within minutes, his phone buzzed with her reply. "You serious? Emily's at school? Don't move, I have an idea?" Jessica had been recording bits of Emily's life for months. Dance recitals, birthdays, even her "I miss Daddy" moments. She had always hoped to stitch them together into a homecoming video one day. But now, she had the chance to make something even better: a live surprise. She called the principal, who instantly agreed to help. "We'll set it up during our morning assembly," he said. "Tell Sergeant Brooks to get here in 20 minutes. Jessica's hands shook as she texted Daniel the plan. She could already imagine Emily's reaction: the disbelief, the scream, the tears. She whispered to herself, "This is going to be the moment she'll remember forever." The gymnasium echoed with chatter and sneakers squeaking on the floor. Colorful banners hung across the walls: respect, teamwork, courage. Mrs. Jenkins guided Emily to the front row. "Today's assembly is about heroes," she said with a wink. "You might know something about that." Emily giggled. "Like my daddy?" The principal walked onto the stage, microphone in hand. "Good morning, students. Today, we're celebrating our community heroes. But before we start, we have a special video." The lights dimmed. The big screen flickered to life. The video began with clips Jessica had recorded Emily baking cookies for Daddy's care package, coloring pictures, sleeping with Daniel's old Marine hat by her pillow. The screen showed old family photos: Daniel holding newborn Emily, their first trip to the beach, a family selfie with matching baseball caps. Then, a final clip appeared: Emily at her desk, looking into the camera. "Miss you, Daddy. Please come home soon. I love you all the way to the moon and back." The gym fell silent. Even teachers were wiping their eyes. And the principal said, "Well, Emily, sometimes heroes don't just live in our stories. Sometimes they walk among us." The back doors of the gym opened. First, Emily didn't turn around. She thought maybe another veteran was coming in to talk. But when she heard the familiar deep voice, "Hey, Pumpkin," her head snapped up. Her breath caught. There he was, her dad. In full uniform, standing tall, his eyes glistening. For a heartbeat, the world froze. Then she screamed a sound that was half laughter, half tears, and sprinted across the gym. Her sneakers thudded on the hardwood floor as she launched herself into his arms. Daniel caught her, hugging her so tight it felt like he might never let go. His hat fell, her hair tangled in his medals, but none of it mattered. They both cried deep, trembling sobs that echoed through the now standing clapping crowd. Jessica, standing near the bleachers, filmed the entire moment through tear-blurred eyes. Emily looked up at him. "You kept your promise," she whispered. Daniel smiled, his voice breaking. "I told you I'd come home, didn't I?" Jessica uploaded the video that evening with the caption, "9 months apart. One promise kept. We'll come home, Sergeant Brooks." Within hours, it exploded. Facebook filled with comments. "I'm crying at work. This is pure love. Every soldier deserves a welcome like this." On TikTok, the sound of Emily's raw, joyful cry became a trending audio clip. News outlets picked it up. "Viral homecoming melts America's heart," read one headline. CNN invited the Brooks family for an interview. When asked how it felt, Daniel simply said, "I've been part of many missions. But coming home to her, that's the one that means the most." The video didn't just bring views, it brought hope. People sent messages to Jessica. "My husband's deployed. This gave me hope. My dad's a Marine. I can't wait for our reunion." Teachers used the video to talk about gratitude and sacrifice. Emily's school even hosted a fundraiser for military families, raising over $25,000 in a week. The Brooks family never expected that one simple reunion would touch millions. A few weeks later, Daniel stood on Emily's school stage again, this time as the guest speaker for Hero Day. He looked out at the rows of kids, then at Emily sitting proudly in the front row. "When we wear this uniform," he said, "we think about courage and duty. But sometimes the bravest people aren't the ones who go to war. They're the ones who wait for us to come home." When the assembly ended, Emily ran up and whispered, "Promise you won't leave again soon?" Daniel smiled and lifted her onto his shoulders. "I promise. Daddy's home for a while." They walked out into the California sunshine, hand in hand, no camera, no audience, just a father and daughter finally together. But somewhere out there, millions still replayed that moment, that scream, that hug, that miracle of coming home, reminding everyone that love, family, and faith in promises are what truly make a hero. Thank you so much for watching. Stories like these remind us of the sacrifices made by so many families. If this touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe for more inspiring content. We'll see you in the next one.